Hi, Shane here. Thought I'd share a story with you again today. Seem to have rather a lot of time on my hands at the moment, as I'm sure you have, and there's nothing like a story just to break up the day and bring a bit of fun or something. Um, I've had my exercise earlier today. I took my two dogs out for a walk locally, and while I was watching them, I was reminded of a story, quite a new story for me, about dogs and cats and why they don't really get on very well. And it goes a little bit like this. A long time ago, in a far, far away place, there was an old man who lived with a cat and her dog. And he called them cat and dog. This old man, well, he was as old as time itself. He had long grey hair that he tied in a plait that went down his back, tied with a ribbon. He had a long grey beard. He would wear a bright red gown made of silk with a golden dragon on the back and gold braidings on the cuff and the collar. There was something very special about this man, for he had in his possession a magic wand. He had used it wisely over the years, and very few people knew that he had a magic wand. The only real use it got these days was to feed himself and the dog and the cat. He would take the wooden bowl down that was his, a silver bowl for the dog, a silver bowl for the cat, and he would tap, tap with his wand on each bowl, and just food would appear. Well, you could be sure every time that the cat would somehow manage to get himself in between the dog and the old man, and he would get to the food first, every time. The dog would sit there patiently, waiting. He would give a little woof of delight, woo, while he waited to be fed, and then he would gleefully eat up his food while the old man sat and ate his food. Afterwards, you could be sure that the cat would get to that cushion first on the sofa. He would plump it up with his paws and curl around and curl on there and begin to clean himself and look at the dog. The dog had to make do with wherever he could find to lay down. If there was a fire lit, well, yes, you've guessed it, the cat would be there first. He would curl around and warm himself in front of the fire and clean himself, and he would look at the dog, and the dog would have to make do with getting as close as he could, but not as close as the cat. When it was bedtime, you can guess who got to the pillow first on the bed, can't you? Yes, you've got it. It was the cat. He was always up there first. He would plump up that pillow, and then he would curl around and lay on the pillow, and he would begin to clean himself. And the old man and the dog would come up to bed too, and the cat would look at the dog. And the old man would get into bed, and the dog would climb onto the bed, and the cat would somehow find himself in between the man and the dog and give the dog a bit of a push away so that the cat was closest to the old man, and the old man would stroke the cat, and the cat would look at the dog. And eventually the old man would give the dog a stroke, and the dog would fall asleep. And of course they would all fall asleep. One evening after they'd eaten and sat by the fire for a while, it was time for bed, and they went up. The normal way, the cat got to the pillow first, the master stroked the cat first, and then the dog, and then they all fell asleep. During the night, a thief snuck into the house. He was aware of the magic wand. He knew it was in there. And he looked around the house, and he eventually found it where the old man kept it on a little shelf. And he put it in his coat, and off he went into the darkness of the night. He was gone. The next morning they woke up. The cat had a big stretch. The dog looked at his master and began to lick him on the face. And the master, oh, dog, 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 steady, steady. And they would all get up and they would go downstairs, all excited about the food. The cat would be, yes, feed me first. And the little dog would be, whoa, 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 whoa. And the master looked around, and he looked around, and he looked around, and he couldn't find the wand anywhere. Well, I know I'm getting old and getting a bit forgetful some days. I seem to have misplaced the wand. Dog, cat, would you look for me? Yeah, said the dog. He couldn't wait to do a little something, sniffing here, sniffing there, sniffing here, sniffing there, all around the house, but he couldn't find it anywhere. The master looked at the cat and said, come on, cat, help dog. And the cat went, no, yes, well, I suppose I'd better have a little look. And the cat got up and had a little look. The dog was round the house here and then there. And he got around the whole house and he came back to the master and he said, I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it anywhere. And the cat, no, I don't appear to have seen it anywhere, master. And the master said, well, it's important to find the magic wand. I'm so old, I can't go looking myself. It's clearly not in the house. Someone must have taken it. Perhaps it's in the town somewhere. You must go and see if you can find it. So the dog, yeah. Walk. Yeah, time for a walk. Yeah. And off the dog went, and cat went, oh, I suppose I better go and have a look, I suppose. Well, the dog, he did lots and lots of looking. The cat did a little bit of looking here and there. The dog went to the north, and he went to the south, and he went to the east, and he went to the west, and they couldn't find it anywhere in the city. They came back to the master and told the master they couldn't find the magic wand anywhere. Oh, dear, you'll have to look further. I'm too old to go out, and too frail to go out and look. Would you look for me? You must go much, much further. The corners of the earth. Yeah. Walk. Yeah, said the dog. The cat went, oh, must I? Oh, dear, I wanted to sleep all day, but I suppose I'd better. And off the two of them went together. Well, again, they searched the four corners of the earth, and they couldn't find it anywhere. And they were returning home when they saw a group of people having a little chat, more of a whisper, really, a huddle. And they went, really? And they listened in, and they could hear them say, oh, that thief, you know, that really bad man, well, he's come into lots of money. He owns a huge house with high walls and guards, and it's on a tiny island surrounded by dangerous water, and he's got all the wealth that you can imagine, and he can't have stolen that much. That you can't steal that much wealth. He's just got so much wealth. And the dog and the cat heard this and thought, that's who's got the magic wand. That's who's got the magic wand. And they went back to their master as quick as they possibly could, and they told their master, and he said, sounds like this could be the man. I need you two to go in and retrieve the wand. Be careful. And the cat was, oh, really? Must I? Oh, really? Dog will need you to help him, said master. Yeah. Walk. Yeah, another walk. Yeah. The dog couldn't wait to get out. While the two of them, off they went. And they went to the place where the house was, on that small island with the dangerous water all the way around. And they looked, and the cat said, oh, the water, it's so cold and wet. I couldn't possibly go in there. It'll get me all wet. And the dog went, well, you can get on my back. Climb on my back. I'll swim with you across. On my back, go on. And the cat went, oh, I suppose so. And it got on the back of the dog, and it began to nestle itself in. And the dog went, oh, be careful with those claws. You're sticking those claws in, be careful. Oh, sorry, said the cat. And the cat nestled into the dog, and the dog got into the water, and the dog began to doggy paddle across. Well, he got about halfway across, and those currents, well, they were going this way and they were going that way, and there were eddies and little whirlpools, and it was a very difficult swim, and the dog got very exhausted. He was about halfway across, and he said, oh, I think I'm going to have to turn back. It's too difficult. I might drown. Oh, no, don't get me wet. Don't get me wet, said the cat. Keep going. I can't afford to swim. Keep going. And the dog, well, he carried on like the brave dog that he was, and he got onto the beach of the island, and he was wet and cold and bedraggled and out of breath. And the cat went, oh, be careful not to drip on me. Don't get me wet. Don't get my fur wet, I say. Don't get me wet. And then the dog said, "Right, what shall we do now? What's the plan?" And the cat said, "Well, yes, I've been thinking. There are lots of guards here, dog, and I think you should go up first and distract them, and then I will sneak in and find the wand, and then I'll call you, and then we'll all go back to the master. Okay?" Yeah, said the dog, yeah. Now, the dog wasn't the brightest of dogs. He was the nicest of dogs, but he wasn't the brightest of dogs, and he couldn't wait to get up there. He didn't really think it through. Well, anyway, the cat watched and waited as the dog clambered up the walls of the battlements, and he got inside into the courtyard, and the guards saw him. And the guards picked up sticks and chased after the dog. Whoa, 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 ran the dog into the corner, and they raised their arms to beat the dog with the sticks, and roo, he barked at them, and he ran off the other side of the courtyard, and they chased after him with their sticks, and they were running from one corner to the other corner, and the dog was woo, and they were chasing after him and trying to beat him with the stick, and the dog was running around trying to escape them. Meanwhile, the cat was watching all of this. Now I shall go and find the wand, he thought, and he slunk into the house, and he very quietly walked between and amongst the furniture, slinking away, and he eventually came to where the wand was. It was on top of a beautiful table, and he picked up the wand, and then he thought to himself, I'm going to make a wish. I wish to be back at home now. And as quick as that, he was back at home. And the master saw him, and he put the wand down for the master, and the master said, "Cat, you're back so soon, and you've brought the wand back, and where's Dog? Dog didn't leave you to it, did he?" And the master thought the cat was saying that the dog had left him to it. And the master said, I don't quite believe it. I thought Dog was faithful and would look after you, and he left you to find the wand and get your own way back here, all on your own. Well, and the cat didn't say yes, and the cat didn't say no, and he left the master believing that the dog had left him to it. And the master said, "Oh, I find it most strange to think that Dog would do that. I thought he was such a faithful dog, and that he would look after you and look after me and help retrieve the wand, and I just don't believe it." And the cat would, leaving the master to think that the dog had left him. Well, the master thought, well, I need to feed the cat up. So I got him a bowl, his silver bowl down, and he tap with the wand, and an even bigger amount of food was in there, and he fed the cat, and day after day, and the cat was getting a bit fatter and a bit fatter and a bit fatter, and it would lay around on the cushion and in front of the fire and on the pillow and cleaning itself. And every now and again the master would say, I find it hard to believe that Dog just left you to it. That I thought he was a faithful dog. Are you sure that he just left you to it? And the cat would neither say yes nor no, leaving the master to believe that the dog had just left him to it. Well, the weeks went past, and one day there was a scratching at the door. The master thought, I wonder who's that at the door. It's horrible weather out there. It's blowing and it's raining and it's cold and it's horrible. I wonder who it is. And he opened the door and he looked down, and he saw this dog all bedraggled and cold and wet, and he was freezing cold, and you could see the ribs. He hadn't eaten for so long, and the master looked and he looked and he looked, and he said, "Dog, it's you. So you've come back after all. I can't believe that you left Cat to do everything. Cat, it's true, isn't it, that Dog just left you to everything and that you did everything. You brought the wand back all on your own and everything." And the cat was, neither saying yes, neither saying no, leaving the master to believe that Dog had left him all alone. And the master said, "I'm sorry, Dog, but you're not the dog I thought you were." And he closed the door on the dog and left him outside. And Cat carried on, well, living the life of the most pampered cat that ever there was. Well, as for the dog, he found new owners. Of course, he's a lovely dog. He's a friendly dog. He's a faithful dog. And he found a really good family that looked after him so well. And quite soon, he'd got all the flesh back on his body and he'd filled out and he was happy and he was contented once again. And he was now with a really good family. And one day he was out walking in the neighbourhood where his old master lived. And the cat, meow, at the door, meow, at the door, meow, meow. He wanted to go out and go for a walk in the sunshine. So the master opened the door and let Kitty Cat out. And Cat went out in the sunshine looking for a bird or a mouse to catch and bring back home as an offering to the master. And Cat thought, well, I'll have a look on the street. And the cat went out the gate and had a little look up the street. And the dog saw him. And Cat, well, the hairs pricked up on the back of his neck, the fur did, and the dog went running for him. And the cat, and off he went, and the dog chased after him and chased after him. And the cat, well, I do believe that the dog is still chasing that cat. And, well, that story has been passed down from dog to dog to dog to dog. And that's why to this day, most dogs still chase cats. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Every few days, I will post up another story, different types of stories. As I say, I hope you enjoyed it. Look after yourselves. Keep safe. Keep well. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.